watching the Samwelb B12 experience.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the post-game show. What an absolute beauty of a game this was. I mean, we've seen we've seen games before. We've seen how unbelievably incredible they can be, and this one was something I did not anticipate seeing. I mean, this was just ridiculous how well this team came together, how well this team played. It was absolutely mind-blowing, and I'm so glad we got to share it here. We're going to break it all down. We're going to review this one because there's just so much to talk about and really discuss and understand as to what transpired and what took place. So let's not waste any more time. There's only one goal scored, and that was by none other than AM 34 Austin Matthews getting it done in overtime, his 39th of the year. Riley and Robertson getting the assists, and really that entire overtime goal was able to be done because of Nick Robertson. Nick Robertson was able to knock down that puck out of the air. He was able to circle around with it, keep it in. Him and Matthews back and forth, some passing that was super close, and it was Riley who came just at the end of that play and was able to get that job done and feed it across for Matthews to put in. But of that entire sequence, it was just absolutely incredible. And this game on its own was back and forth. It was a very slow start for the Maple Leafs, and that is kind of what it was a little nerving. If you're a Leaf fan and you were watching this go down, there were a few things here that you might not have liked to see. A few things that might have made you feel a little uneasy, if you will, and that is understandable. The first period of play, the shots just were not there. Toronto, for whatever reason, really struggled putting pucks towards the net. And as we're watching this game, I couldn't believe how the Leafs were finding a way. They found a way to continue to battle and get in here. So, okay, let's break down all your stats because really that's what's important. In the first period, I say it was tough because Toronto only had 4 shots on net. 4 shots in that first period. Winnipeg had 16. The second period, it was reversed. 11 for Toronto, 5 shots for Winnipeg. In the third, Toronto had 13 shots. Winnipeg had 7. In overtime, Winnipeg had 4. Toronto had 2. And by the way, Winnipeg started that overtime with a minute and a half on the power play that Toronto had to overcome. So before we go any further, I think it's only fitting to break in and officially announce.
And now, the 3 stars of the game.
3 stars of tonight's game. Brisebois gets star number 3 with a .93 goals against. He only gave up the 1 in overtime. Austin Matthews with the game winner in overtime. And then Samsonov returning his second straight game, putting up a shutout. Absolutely unbelievable game that Samsonov had. He really was the story here tonight. He really kept the Leafs in this one. Now, Matthews getting that goal, he only needs one more goal to extend both his franchise records for most 40-goal seasons and most consecutive 40-goal seasons. He also can become the third U.S.-born player in NHL history with 6 or more 40-goal seasons, joining Pat LaFontaine and Joe Mullen, both who have done it 7 times. Now, there's also some news with Matthews scoring that overtime goal. It's his 11th overtime goal of his NHL career, which moves him past William Nylander for sole possession of second place on the Leafs all-time list, which is topped by Matt Sundin, who has 14. So Matthews now only 3 goals before tying Matt Sundin for number 1 of the Leafs overtime goal list. So that is some pretty amazing numbers to come through. All right, let's break down the additional stats in this hockey game, because there is a lot to discuss and talk about here. The total shots, when we add them all up, 32 for Winnipeg, 30 for Toronto. Hits was fairly even, 20 for Toronto, 21 for the Jets. Toronto 35 faceoffs won to 19 by the Jets. That equates to about 65% Toronto. Toronto's been doing an excellent job in the faceoff circle as of late. Toronto with 5 power plays, and this number is where we need some help. Toronto's power play has struggled a lot lately. 5 power play opportunities. They could not score at all. The Jets had 2. They were both in the third period, almost back to back. One of them heading into overtime. 17 giveaways for Toronto. That is a bad number. They need to continue to work on that. You cannot turn the puck over that many times. It's a good thing that Sammy was on his game tonight to bail them out. The Jets with only 5. In the takeaway department, 13 for the Jets, 8 for Toronto. And block shots, 19 block shots for Toronto, which is a monster number. 10 block shots for the Jets. Those are your stats from this game. It was an unbelievable game. The first period was tough to watch for Toronto. The second period was much better. It was very even. But that third period, the Leafs, they were skating, they were flying, they looked really good. This was a close game from start to finish. Toronto needed this one. They were currently sitting in that first wild card spot. With this win, they've now overtaken the Tampa Bay Lightning. Toronto is back to third place in the Atlantic Division, and they hang on to that spot, bouncing Tampa Bay into that first wild card spot. The Winnipeg Jets, yes, it's a loss for them, but the Jets are still doing unbelievably well. They sit amongst the top 3 in the league: Vancouver, Boston, and then Winnipeg. So a big game for both these teams. Boston and Carolina currently tied at 2s. That one is in the third period. Florida with a whopping of Arizona 6-2 tonight, and a bunch of games starting real soon. I want to thank you all for watching us here on the post-game show. This has been a lot of fun. Toronto taking this first matchup. The season series continues Saturday night as Toronto travels to Winnipeg. And after Samsonov puts up a shutout today, I would expect to see him back between the pipes in just a couple of days when the Leafs travel to Winnipeg. These Leafs still have some things to sort out. Like I said, special teams was an issue. The penalty kill actually was much better tonight. Their power play was atrocious. One of the things they recognized and made the change, which totally caught me off guard, but I'm really thankful for it. The Toronto Maple Leafs made a change, and they put Nick Robertson on the second line. Bertuzzi was not in tonight's game, as his wife is expecting. Robertson started on line number 3 with Domi, but he very quickly moved up to that second line. Robertson, I think this is a season high for him tonight, played 17 minutes. He had 4 shots. All 4 of those shots were fantastic. He picked up a big assist. Again, the reason Matthews was able to score is Nick Robertson picking that puck out of the air, having some great chemistry with Austin Matthews. And if this is any type of a hint of what Nick Robertson could do, we got to keep playing this guy, because it is absolutely monstrous. I want to thank you all for watching our post-game wrap-up here with the Leafs and the Winnipeg Jets. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do hit that subscribe. We want to see you back for more fun. Next up for us, it's the Edmonton Oilers, the Chicago Blackhawks. Tomorrow night, January 25th, we'll be live at 9 o'clock. We look forward to seeing you all there. For all of us here at the Samwelb 12 Network, thank you, good night, and go Leafs, go.
Fans, the United States of Newfoundland.
Watch it. Samwelb
watching the Samwelb B12 experience.